Number 5. The Nickel Plate Road is a Class S-2 284 rickshaw steam locomotive built for the New York, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad, commonly referred as the Nickel Plate Road. It was built in 1944 by the Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio. And as a member of the S2 class, the locomotive operated fast, heavy freight passenger trains until its retirement in 1958. And following a restoration in 1979 and major rebuild between 2000 and 2006, number 765 operates public exhibition passenger train service today and continues the main line excursions and is owned and maintained by the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society, or FWRSH. It's also added to, again, the National Register of Historic Places, even though it's not a place. It's a landmark, or a work of mechanical engineering, but I love this locomotive because this is my favorite type of steam locomotive, the Berkshire. It has some, like, beauty in it, but my second favorite, this is my second favorite type. My first favorite is the Mikado, which a Mikado's on this list too. But that's in the top 4. Number 4. Look what we have here, another Berkshire. This is a P Market 1225. An N-1284, so it's not the same. And it's a Berkshire steam locomotive again, another beautiful type. Built in October 1941, the same company, the Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio, was built for the P Market Railway, or PM. As the only one of the 2 surviving P Market 284 locomotives, the other one being 1223, which is on display at the Tri-Cities. I'm not sure what that is, so... And it's also... And the P Market Railway was used in regular service for freights, passenger, until the railroad merged with the Chesapeake and Ohio, or the C&O. In 1947, it remained on C&O's Michigan lines until 1951, and slated for scrapping. But this is something that I think every 1225 fan would think. The chairman of the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad didn't have the heart to scrap the locomotive, so which it was donated to the... it was donated to the Michigan State University in 1957 and placed on stack display. In 1971, or began to restore the 1225, and never that accumulated. That culminated in its first excursion run in 1988. And again, it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. And it's now used on the former Tuscola and Saginaw Bay Railway, now the Great Lakes Central Railroad. And it's most known for pulling its famed Polar Express train every winter, which I'm probably should do one in the snow and that one here. And most of these pictures are probably with this pulling. And also, it was the basis for the book, The Polar Express, and the movie, The Polar Express, also. So you don't see too many people do that. And actually, the person who wrote the book is from Michigan. A train that made it into a book and a movie. That's pretty good. Number 3. all stared, and all in wonder they were fast and sleek, and full of thunder. They followed the path of fuel and fire. They were called streamliners. Number 3 is the Norfolk and Western 611. Sorry, I was singing that. The Streamliner songs from I Love Toy Trains. And Norfolk and Western 611 is my favorite streamliner. And, yeah, streamliner. And it's also the closest steam locomotive to me. It comes to Spencer, I think, every year. Which, if you don't know where that is, it's where the North Carolina Transportation Museum is. I talked about it in a video you can check out up here. Yeah, it was also in the spirit of Roanoke and the Queen of Steam. It was the King of Steam. It is a preserved Class J 484 Northern Streamlined Steam locomotive built by Norfolk and Western's own Roanoke shops. It was one of the last steam passenger locomotives built in the United States, and it was designed to haul the Powhatan, Arrow, Pocahontas, Cavalier passenger trains between Norfolk, Virginia, and Cincinnati, and Portsmouth, Ohio, as well as Lynchburg, Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee. And unfortunately, just 9 years later, it was retired, and donated to the Virginia Museum of Transportation in Roanoke, Virginia, which is also 6 hours away from me. And in December 1994. Oh, sorry, Norfolk Southern in 1982. After they were formed as the Southern Railway, Norfolk and Western, that's where the name comes from. Restored it to operating condition for excursion service as it became the star of the steam program, both excursions in the eastern United States, but unfortunately it was retired again in 1994. Sorry about that. And in 2013, the Virginia Museum of Transportation, or VMT, formed a committee called Fire Up 611 to raise enough money to restore the operating locomotive to operating condition once again for an excursion service in May. It often visits the North Carolina Transportation Museum for its annual Federal Railroad Administration maintenance and inspection. I didn't know that. See, I'm wondering when does this locomotive come? Because I want to see it. So if it comes in May, then I want to go to the NCTM in May. But I'm still trying to see. But the strange thing is, I don't know why it goes to there. I'm not sure when it comes to here, North Carolina, and it's not states in Roanoke, Virginia, but that's really weird. And obviously this was not designed for freight. Even though the Streamliner diesels were carrying freight, I don't think the Streamliners were meant for freight. But yeah, favorite Streamliner, beautiful colors, landscape, and closest steam locomotive to me. Number 2. Oh, I'm seriously going to get trashed with a 44 fans. I'm sorry, but the Southern Pacific 4449 used to be my favorite as I watched many videos of it as a young kid because it was orange. That's my favorite color. And she's also known as the Daylight. And it's the only surviving example of the Southern Pacific's GS4 484 Northern type class steam locomotives, and only 2 GS class surviving The other one being 4460 and the Museum of Transportation in St. Louis. I should add it on my another bucket list place. It was built for the Sun Pacific by Lima Locomotive Works in Lima, Ohio. I'm sorry that is not my top 10, but this is not number 1, but I think number 1, it needs a full video on it. Just why it might be placed in a separate video and straight line. The reason I love this logo is its color, orange, CP Blitz history. Oh my goodness. You can explain the history in 10 minutes or even 4 minutes. So just like I suggest you go check out Train Guru's documentary on the 4449. It is amazing. That's something I'm gonna do with I almost said it. Number 1. I can't wait to show you guys number 1. And its beauty. It's probably the most beautiful steam locomotive. To some people, I'm sorry. I know some people are going to little get on the high horse with me. But this is not my choice. You can't change my opinion. And I can't change yours, so ha. And finally, number 1. My favorite locomotive ever. The Canadian National 3254 is my favorite 3 months, and why? Well, it all started when, actually, it has been in my top 5 for a long time. It's moved to number 1 after I've been watching the San Juan Branch Line and the Marys Road stories. The San Juan Branch Line, as he goes by the name Craig, and the retired Marys Road stories, where he went by the name James, yes. And in the future, the Matthews Road stories created by me, CS6 Guy 2005, and he will go by the name Henry. Oh crap, I just gave that away. Oops. Yes. And I forgot to record this, so the Canadian National 3254 is a Class S1B Mikado type steam locomotive built in 1917 for the Canadian National Railway. It used to be an operating fleet of Steamtown National Historic Site. And it was still sitting there. And it was built in 1917 by the Canadian Locomotive Company for the Canadian Government Railways, where it was numbered 2854, but in 1918, the Canadian Government and Canadian Northern Railways formed the Canadian National, or CN Railway, and 3254 was renumbered to what's now. And the 3254 had considerable pulling power. It can climb grades with ease, and it was used to handle heavy freight trains, and the engine continued service until it was retired in February 1958. In November 1961, it was sold to motel owner Willis F. Barron, who moved to Ashland, Pennsylvania, and intended to run the locomotive on the Reading Company's branch line that served the town. So the town, the tracks in Ashland were unfortunately pulled up before Barron's planned venture could begin operation, so he had the 3254 disassembled and moved there by truck and reassembled at his motel for site display. Fortunately, in 1982, it was moved to Gettysburg Railroad. It was restored and sold to the Gettysburg Railroad. Sold and restored to the Gettysburg Railroad. for excursion runs between Gettysburg and Mount Holly Springs. And in the summer 1987, the 3254 arrived at its permanent home at Steamtown National Historic Site in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where it's sitting on display in front of where it can be greeted by thousands of people every year. And it was masqueraded as Lackawanna, number 1271, and in 1995, number 3054 participated in the grand opening of Steamtown's Roundhouse. Unfortunately, as a result of issues with the boiler, firebox are framed combined with other needed maintenance, which made further operation practical. Number 3254 was taken out of service after the holiday season in 2012. It also contributed to its 1941 collision. Whether or not the 3254 display restored in the future is up for debate, and also was a part of a 1941 accident. But why is this my favorite? Well, after watching the same on Branch Line Mary's Road stories and researching the locomotive and researching its home, its history, it has become my favorite, and it will be my favorite for a long time. And when I eventually go up to Steamtown, I'll probably take a lot of pictures of this one locomotive. Shit's gonna be. Yeah, I know everybody asks this in a real thing Q&A. If somebody asks me what's the one locomotive I could restore if I had time and money, it would be the 3054. And I don't know where I would move it. I would probably just leave it at the Steamtown National Historic Site. For them to continue. I'll bring the steam locomotive for years and years for many generations to see. And I can't wait to see it myself. Alright, after that moment, I'd say thank you guys for watching this top 10. I'm working on, well, usually with a collab with someone. We're planning it right now. And although we've talked to each other on Discord, not, I forgot to put it, CSX Guide to Survive, we are chatting personally with each other. Don't ask me what's that, I'm not sure. In the corner right here. But please check me out on YouTube and Instagram. As I said, I host productions for roller coasters and bridges, and was it trains? And reptiles 2105 for anything wildlife, and Instagram. Host bridge trains, to roller coasters, bridges, and trains, and update for this channel and my other channel. And also check me out on Instagram for reptiles 2105 for anything wildlife, pictures, and updates on videos there. So I hope nobody gets mad at me, but this is my list. And nobody can change it. And I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you guys at the rail yard. At the rail yard. Okay. Okay. The Santa Fe 9636. What? Where did 96? Oh my god. Seaboard System 1501. That is not. I'm so stupid. I don't know why I started singing that song. Hey, we're fast. Okay, I don't want to sing again. New York Central Ghost. Okay. I have a problem with singing those. And that's mad now. Norfolk Southern, what's your function? Oh gosh, this is gonna be dumb. Oh gosh.